light of my life.
Yes, Charles, and I have not gotten over leaving you. Believe me, I didn't plan it. I love you, and I love the fact that you still come to my grave, remember my birthday and our anniversary, Christmas, and every other special time. You are a dear, sweet man. My friends in heaven, especially those whose husbands murdered them, are amazed that you are still devoted to me. They do question me about our marriage. They want to know how it was that we made it work.
What did you tell them?
Well, I tell them that you were a handsome and articulate young lawyer who reviewed my performing contracts and kept me out of trouble, and that we just fell in love. What would you have said?
I think I would have said the same thing.
Well, how kind of?
Well, I would have said that there was a beautiful pianist who played the piano extraordinary and who needed someone to review her performance contracts so that some vulture would not take advantage of her, swindle her, and that I just happened to be the best person. The prince on a shining white horse who was lonely and looking for the princess of my life to do that favor for her.
Well, that's an acceptable answer. I agree with you that you did become my prince. I can't imagine what kind of trouble I might have gotten myself into without your skilled eye. In fact, I may have given up the concert stage if you had not encouraged and protected me from agents who would have swindled me. You know, the concert stage, although rewarding, was grueling.
Oh, really? I never realized that I actually kept you going. You were such a natural. I couldn't imagine you doing anything else. Tell me, this may sound crazy, but I know there is music in heaven, harps and choirs, but are there pianos?
Yes.
Do you get to play? Tell me about it.
Yes, I get to play. In fact, I now get to play things that I did not have time for on Earth. Also, it seems easier to learn new things.
Have you met Mozart, Beethoven, the greats?
Yes, I have. In fact, they have helped me a lot. Would you like to hear something? I see the piano is here like everything else.
Julia gradually walks over to the piano. She sits down and adjusts herself. She looks at the piano as if she were recalling the times she used to practice for her concerts. All the while, Judge Hawkins looks at her mysteriously, and he can't believe what is happening. Then she begins to play a Chopin prelude. Its countenance changes. He looks at her adoringly and listens intently.
Is lovely. You play as beautiful as ever.
Oh, thank you. I hope that I should play better now that I'm not restrained by earthly demands, timelines, and ridiculous critics.
You mean there are no critics in heaven?
Well, not like here. There are still demands for excellence. After all, the masters are there composing and performing, and yes, directing, trying to help us accomplish what they have in mind. But the point is, they actually help. They don't just belittle us simply for the sake of doing it and to find out how we may collapse under pressure so they can enjoy an insidious personal victory, earthly accolades. The crime is that most critics, reviewers as they sometimes call themselves, in an attempt to make their profession more honorable and acceptable, can't even play or sing one note. They have never even in a class recital, much less in a concert hall.
Oh, I see. So let me get this straight. In heaven there are no critics because there are no liars.
Well, you might say that.
It makes sense to me.
Yes, it does. And how relieved I am not having to put up with them. Now enough of this chitty-chatty conversation. We need to get to the purpose of my visit.
Oh, you have a purpose? You mean that you didn't come just because you missed me and wanted to be with me?
Well, of course, my dear. I do miss you, and I do want to be with you. But things are much more complicated now.
Complicated?
Well, first of all, it's quite an effort to come back, to travel as far as I have to.
To travel? An effort?
Well, yes, the hereafter, the great beyond, is so vast and so far away.
Vast and far away?
Well, of course it is. It has to be to accommodate all the people who've lived on earth since the time before Abraham. Do you realize how many people that would be? Trillions and trillions and trillions. Oh, I don't know, but more than you can imagine.
I see. I never ever thought of that.
Right, most people haven't. Now, back to my purpose.
Julia, your attitude concerns me. You seem so serious and determined about something. I've never seen you like this before.
Right, dear. Of course you haven't seen me like this before. I've never been here when I was dead. Now, to the point of my visit.
Julia, please forgive me. I'm delighted that you have appeared, come to see me. I've never believed that such could happen. But forgive me. The tone of your voice, your businesslike manner, made me feel like an innocent victim being tried for a crime. All because I remembered your birthday, visited you at the cemetery, and brought you flowers today. This just doesn't make sense to me.
My dear, my love, let me help you make sense of it.
Okay.
Well, first, let's take the house.
The house? What's wrong with the house? We've lived here for 30-some years. You've always liked this house.
I know, Charles, I did like the house, but things have changed.
Changed?
Well, yes, changed. For one thing, I am no longer here. And since I've been away, I have seen much grander things.
Well, of course. In heaven there are mansions, and the streets are paved with gold. That is according to the Bible, and I assume it's true, is it?
My dear, yes, heaven is lovely. But that is not what I'm talking about.
Please, get to the point. Educate me.
She spots a recording album, she picks it up, and becomes animated. She wonders why Judge Hawkins has not said anything to her about it. So she asks him,
Oh, look, Charles, why didn't you tell me?
Well, I haven't had a chance to tell you anything. As a matter of fact, the only thing I've been able to do is to listen to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. That was rude for me to say. It's really quite nice of you to come by. I just should be happy to see you. Really, I am. Yes, that is the last recording you made of Chopin's pieces.
Charles, let's listen to it. I've always wondered what it would sound like and what the critics, no, the reviewers said about it.
Actually, after the news reported your death, the critics and reviewers were quiet. As a matter of fact, some news shows listed your accomplishments and even played bits and pieces of your recordings. The reports were nice, even inspiring. You would have been proud of them and of yourself.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I guess the critics knew that since I wasn't around to be harassed, they thought saying bad things about me would be senseless.
Probably. However, Julia, you have never really had bad reviews. You have always done well.
Yes, pretty well. Let's listen to it, Charles. Let's see how I did.
Okay, that will be a pleasant thing to do. Maybe it will relieve some of the tension here.
Well, maybe it will, Charles. Maybe we could have a little glass of wine, something for old time's sake.
Of course, I'll get it.
Judge Hawkins leaves the living room and goes to the kitchen. He returns with 2 wine glasses and a bottle of wine on a tray. He sets the tray down and pours the wine and hands hands Julia a glass. She takes it and takes a sip. The expression on her face shows that she approves of it and enjoys it. The tension seems to ease, and they carry on their conversation.
Tell me, Charles, how many albums sold?
Lots. As far as classical music goes, you've done quite well. That is, according to the statements I get. And for sure, I don't think there is a person in town who didn't buy your new album. I've heard that all of the piano teachers in the area require that their students listen to it.
Well, I guess that album of Chopin's pieces has done some good. I'll have to tell Chopin when I get back. He'll be pleased.
Why, of course. No doubt he'll be glad to know that. Now, tell me, what is the purpose of your coming here? You know, I never expected you.
Yes, I know. No one expects the dead to appear out of nowhere. Now, on a serious note, Charles, I have made this trip because of your behavior.
My behavior? Julia, as I have already told you, I feel like an innocent victim. You never complained about my behavior before.
I know, Charles, I didn't have to. You were always a gentleman, easy to get along with. And even when you made a mistake, you were willing to correct it. But now I have to call your attention to your behavior. Your behavior has changed drastically.
What is wrong with my behavior? I've done nothing wrong. I just get up in the morning, go to the office, try to figure out what to do with criminals, come home, eat supper, talk to the cat, review the papers for next day, go to bed, and get up the next morning and start all over again.
You have said it to a T. I couldn't have said it better, and that is what is wrong. That's why your mother and my mother and father, and I, not to mention your guardian angel, Angelica, are worried about.
I need an explanation about all of this worry. I've always heard that there is no worry in heaven.
Well, that's not exactly true. You see, people who make it to heaven actually do live right, and we treat each other respectfully, causing no worry among ourselves. But looking back on earth, we see the mistakes people make and how they cause worry for others, even those of us in the great beyond.
Mistakes? What mistakes have I made now? I have done nothing but try to be a fair judge, stay at home, mind my own business, and love you.
And that is what is wrong.
Wrong? I know a lot of women who would have given their life for a husband who had a decent career and loved his wife as I have loved you.
But things have changed. I'm gone. You are by yourself, all alone. You are wasting your life. That is what everybody is so worried about. You are wasting your life.
Wasting my life? How did you ever come up with that idea?
Your guardian angel, Angelica, came and told me.
Now we are back to my guardian angel. I've never seen her. She's never said anything to me.
Well, she did to me.
What did she say?
Well, she told me how she had to rush to your aid so that you didn't kill yourself.
Kill myself? I've never even thought of such a thing.
That's the problem. You haven't thought. You just walk and go about doing things in oblivion.
I do not.
You do too. If you hadn't, your guardian angel wouldn't have come to me and had me come all the way back to Earth to visit you, to try to talk some sense into your head. She is beside herself.
There you go. You are scolding me again. We are quarreling. I find our conversation very disturbing.
Well, you need to be disturbed, to wake up, at least when you cross the street.
Cross the street?
Yes, cross the street. The other day you stepped off the curb.
When? Where was that?
Oh, last Tuesday afternoon, about 4:30, when you left the post office and were going to the bank. You were in La La Land. And you stepped off the curb without looking to the left or to the right to see if any cars were coming.
I didn't do any such thing.
Don't argue with me. I have a witness that said you did.
Witness?
Yes, the guardian angel.
Well, I guess that I have no defense if there was a witness, do
No,
I?
you don't. And not when there's a credible witness. Now let me finish the story.
Well, go ahead.
Well, your guardian angel reported that just in the nick of time, she was able to grab you, pull you back to the curb, lift your head up, and keep this teenage driver from sending you into
Oh, I remember now. Yes, that teenage driver. He nearly scared me half to death. He was driving as though he owned the town, as though there were no people in 1,000 miles of him. He nearly gave me a heart attack. Boy, did he ever need a citation for reckless driving.
Well, the truth of the matter is, according to my credible and reliable witness, is that the young man was driving just fine. He had the right of way. He had stopped at the stop sign like he was supposed to, looked to the left and to the right and back to the left, and didn't expect anyone with his head down, failing to look both ways, and assuming there were no cars in 1,000 miles to come out of the blue.
Well, maybe I was looking at my mail.
That's no excuse. Then there was the time that you set the glass coffee pot on the hot burner and pow! Again, she had to grab you, pull you away from the stove, the boiling coffee, the shattered coffee pot,